I love great conversations. Hi, my name is Angel Jones. Thank you for joining me on 12-minute convos where I help you create a brand of your own unique, real self. Listen in as I have conversations with amazing people from all over the world. Good day, James Studdart. How are you going on this wonderful, beautiful day?
Awesome. Doing really well, thanks. Looking forward to the podcast.
Yeah, well, tell me, what part of the world are you in right now?
I'm in North Wales in the United Kingdom.
Oh, sweet. James, well, please do tell me which of your talents is responsible for us meeting.
I think it's probably my devotion to technology and my passion for helping other people to succeed.
Yeah. One thing I've learned doing this podcast is you can identify passion by the emphasis on the P when the person says the word. And you definitely have that passion. Briefly listened to the podcast. Of course, the content is very tech-oriented, right? Please tell us the name of the podcast, what you do, where we can get more information for those that it's applicable to.
Yeah, sure. The podcast is called The Cynical Developer, and you can find out more about it on cynicaldeveloper.com. And it's a weekly podcast that helps that helps developers to improve their development knowledge and career by explaining sort of the latest and the greatest in development technologies and also touching on things like soft skills that a lot of developers really struggle with. So everything really that brings it all together and ties it up nicely to help you succeed in your career as a developer.
Yeah, and you're definitely bringing that conversation in a way that's really relatable to anyone that's creating content, because in that conversation I listened to, what stood out is really the concept of creating content and it gets nothing, like it does nothing, and the way to do that correctly, just in that little snippet of conversation that I was listening to. So it really is something that's applicable to everyone, isn't it? That's creating content.
Oh, it is, because we do interviews like this one-on-one, but we also do monologues where I will talk on a topic, and the topics that I talk on tend to be very general, and they can be applied to many different things.
Now, living and existing in the space, that tech space, right? The cyborg space, if you would.
Yeah.
It really takes a task, right? But before we ask why you will continue to do this, who did you learn this skill from?
Originally, it was from a college friend called Lee Mullen, who we've had on the show a couple of times, and he runs Rarely Impossible Limited. And he really gave me my first push and helping hand into the world of programming and development.
Fascinating. So why will you continue to repeat this to what some think is impossible skill? Why will you continue?
I get a lot of enjoyment out of writing software, solving solutions, and also helping people to follow and surpass me in what I do and what I get enjoyment from as well. So it's always going to push me forward with that.
Love it. Tell me one other thing that you've done consistently over the last 3 years, please.
Strive to achieve more, to be more, and to be better than I was yesterday is something that I've really come up the last 3 years for.
Sounds fascinating. How do you do that? Is this only applicable to the developer side of you, or is there another side?
No, it seems to be applied to everything. 12 months ago, 2 years ago, just over 2 years ago,
you could use 12. We like the 12 number.
I had 2 kids, and I didn't want to be a fat dad anymore, or I didn't even want to be a fat dad. I wanted to be able to run around a field with them and enjoy being out with them. So I dedicated myself to getting in shape and losing weight, and I've lost about 70 pounds.
Wow! Congratulations.
And I lost that over 12 months.
Wow.
So constantly trying to improve myself in a career point of view and from a personal point of view, health and all that as well.
Wow. So was the loss of weight something that was consistent throughout the 12 months, or was it something that you built momentum with?
It actually, to start with, it was quite a big drop. I probably lost 30 odd pounds within the first couple of months, and then the rest of it came off steadily throughout the rest of the time.
Interesting.
And yeah,
that's interesting. So how does that make you feel?
At times I think it's quite tiring and quite exhausting, and you do get run down from trying to be better all the time. But at the same time, when you hit those milestones that you've set for yourself, it's one of the best feelings in the world. It makes you feel great, and it really does push you on and urge you on to make that next next target, that next goal to get there in the end.
Yeah. You know, it makes you feel like you could fly, right? Well, it makes you feel you're flying.
Yeah, definitely does.
Suggest to someone out there, someone that's listening, who may be really tied down in one thing, right? Even a developer, right? Developers tend to get behind the computer and put on 70 pounds, right?
But, yeah, definitely. And I definitely put some more on as when I became a professional developer.
You see,
that's true.
Yeah, so suggest to someone out there why they should apply the balance aspect to their life.
Yeah, I think that really you need to sort of set everything out in life, and you need to set these little goals, because you tend to get very tunnel visioned into what you're doing. And like we were saying then, that you can put on weight and you can let your health slide, but you can also get stuck in a rut of being, I'm a developer, or I'm in a certain job in a certain niche and this is just what I do, and you'll never progress. So as Grant Cardone says, be obsessed or be average. So you've got to have those little milestones. You've got to be obsessed about hitting those milestones and getting to where you want to be. Otherwise, you're never going to get anywhere. And maybe that's for you. Maybe that's what you want to do. But for me, and what I suggest for other people, is that they don't want to be that. They always want to be more.
Yeah, I love that. Amazing audience, we are live with James Studdart. James is the podcast host of The Cynical Developer. Do check that out. James, let's switch gears for a moment now, and let me invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water. James, what is your earliest childhood memory?
I think it's actually probably not a happy one. It's probably quite depressing in a way. And it's an upsetting time in primary school or kindergarten, as some of your listeners might know it. And I remember sitting on a beanbag on a lunch break thinking, that new boy starts in school tomorrow and he'll be my friend. I didn't have many friends when I was younger, and to this day we're still the best of friends. I was his best man at his wedding, and
Wow.
He was my best man as well.
Wow. So you're probably around what, like 4 or 5?
Yeah, about 6 or 7, I think it was. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why do you think this memory is so clear?
I think it's just probably one of those few moments that, as a kid, I had a bit of optimism.
Yeah.
Because I'm always told that I'm very negative and I'm very cynical about everything and about the world, and it was just one of those sort of low moments where I thought, do you know what? I'm going to make a difference in my life.
Wow. I love that. Well, can I offer an interpretation to the thought picture you created in my mind?
Yeah.
I love the fact that you, back then, that your awareness is what created the opportunity to make a decision. And it seems as though even with the weight, right, it was this awareness that occurred, and you were willing to make the decision again. And it's intriguing. Like I would suggest to you, I mean, I don't usually do this, but I would suggest to you, like, be aware, because in that awareness you make the decision, and then it changes your life. It transforms your life, like long term, which is fascinating.
Yeah, it does. And I can take back in my past to the point where I actually became this dedicated beast, if you like, to what I wanted to achieve and why I strive so much to be better. And that goes back to childhood of always being told that I'm not good enough, that I'll never achieve anything. And I always set out now to prove those people wrong.
Love it.
And really, I become my own worst critic over it.
Yeah, you become cynical.
Yeah.
You actually use the thing that can be seemingly negative and you spun it to be positive, which is great. Yeah. All right, my friend. We have... No. So I just got like this space in my mind. If we fast forward to when you were 12, what was your favorite song?
I think it was probably Common People by Pulp. It was just one of the popular songs, and when it comes on now, I still it still makes me positive and makes me want to get up and jump around a little bit.
I love it. Come on, people. Yeah, it's all about reaching. Come on, people. People just like me,
Yeah.
people just like you. Well, James, we have arrived at our destination, but before we get off of this time machine, there's a small declaration form, so it's yes or no, possibly a bit more. We're going to go quickly here. James, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
No, because I don't want to force my dreams on anybody.
Oh, sure. Yeah. You do not want to force your dreams on anybody. Yeah, that's cool. Are you married?
Yes, I am married.
Do you have children?
Yes, I've got 2 twin boys.
Oh, sweet. Congratulations. Wow.
Thanks.
2 at a time. Do you believe in God?
No.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
Yes.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
No.
How about 3 hours a week?
No.
What about screen time, the phone and or the computer? Is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
Oh, more than 8 hours a day.
Yeah, I think that's obvious, right? Like it's
Yeah.
he's the guy. So all right. So I've had 1001 conversations in 3 months in 2016, and I came up with a workbook, and the name of it is yours, and it stands for your own unique real self. Connected to that is your own unique real statement, your mission, if you would. If you had to share with us your own unique real statement, something that represents James Studdart, what would you say that is?
I think that's got to go back to the strapline for one of my old personal websites, which is only the best will do.
Love it. James Studdart, this was a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
Yeah, I would say don't listen to anyone that tells you you aren't good enough. Be proud of what and who you are and be proud of your achievements, but always push yourself to the next goal. Without a goal in life, what's the point?
Love it. What is the point? James Studdart, thank you for being on 12-Minute Convos, or what is inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for being on 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. Stay tuned for more from our advertisers.
Diabetes is a mountain pandemic. It's a disease that's not acute but chronic. Similar to this rhyming method, I have simplified the definition, the signs and symptoms, and the complications of diabetes for both adults and children in my books, Poems for Patients, A Focus on Diabetes, and The ABCs of Diabetes for Children. These books are available on Amazon.com, and for more information, you can visit my website, poemsbyaj.com. That's poemsbyaj.com.